So this is the quadratic formula video part 2. So you need to have watched part 1 first, and you should have ended up practicing some questions which are here. There we go. So you should have practiced those, and here are the answers. So pause the video and check all your work, and then we're going to move on. So we're now going to look at what happens if it's not in the right form. So we're going to look at this second one now, where we rearrange a quadratic to the correct form. So here we go. So this is not in the right form. So what would we do to get it to the right form? So have a little look through the options. Okay, pause the video, have a little think. Okay, and you should have went for option D, because when you're using it, it has to equal 0. So I'm going to take 8 from both sides to make it equal 0. So here we got some where they're not in the right form. So I'm going to go through these. If you think you know what you're doing, then by all means pause the video, just do the questions, and then you can come back and check your answers in a minute. So I'll go through them now one by one. So I'm going to expand out brackets. That's now in the required form, it equals 0. I would first try and factorise this. Now we know it won't factorise because of the topic we're on. I'm going to quote the formula I'm going to use. Remember, you've got to learn this off by heart. Okay, and then sub all the numbers in and get your solutions. And there's our solution, just like before. Picked out my coefficients, 7, 1, minus 5, and then just popping them into the formula. Go for your calculator. So I work out the top line, press equals, and then do divide by the bottom line. So next question. Again, it's in the wrong form. It needs to equal 0, and also it's got brackets. So I'm going to expand the brackets. So I do front times front, then I do back times back. Then I have a middly bit. That little bit there, and then I do the outer bit. Tidy it all up. And I'm going to take away 7 from both sides so that it equals 0. So take away 7 down to minus 4. Okay, and then I'm going to go into the normal routine doing the formula. So pause the video now and you do it yourself. Okay, so hopefully you got the same as me there. Just be careful here. We do have that double negative, so you should have ended up here with 16 plus 16. So now on to a much trickier question here. So it doesn't equal 0, it's not in the right form. And also you got this x underneath here. So whenever you have an x as a denominator, you're always going to have to get it up top. And our strategy here will be to multiply through by x. So I times this by x, times this through by x. Now if I times this bit by x, you're going to have 2x over x. In other words, the x's will cancel. So you'd have plus 2 times this by x. So you've got rid of the x on the bottom. You now need to set it all to 0. Now, I don't want to take away the x squared, setting this side to 0, because you'd have negative x squared, which tends to make life a little bit harder. So I'd rather take this lot away. So I'm going to take 5x from both sides and take away 2 from both sides. Okay, and then it's just the usual nonsense. Pick out your A, B and C. So A is 1, B is minus 5, and C is minus 2. Quote the formula you're going to use. Okay, then pop your numbers in. So pause the video, you do the rest. Okay, and there are our two answers. So that's the rearranging bit done. Let's move on. So hopefully by now we know when to use it when we can't factorise. Hopefully we're happy now with rearranging stuff to get it in the right form. So it's got to be in that form, something lots of x squared plus something lots of x plus just some number. And it's got to equal 0, most important. And solving quadratics using a formula, well, we've done lots of that. So what about this last one? Leaving an answer in surd form. What does that look like? Well, the question would typically be phrased like this. Leave your answer in this form, which just means solve it with our calculator. Now, I actually find this stuff easier because I can just leave it like this. It's less work. So let's pick out our coefficients. Again, I'm always going to check whether it's factorizes, but as soon as I see that, I know it won't. Quote the formula. So remember, we're saying x is equal to this lot. Sorry about the red bit, I don't know where that's come from. So let's pop our numbers in. So minus b. So b squared, well, let's work it out straight away. Minus 4 times ac, well, a times c is 1, times it by 4, so it's just 4 all over 2a. So I've jumped a few steps there and done it in my head as I'm getting a bit more confident now. Feel free to do the same. So now I'm tidying up. So we've got 25 take away 4, 21, but that's being rooted. That's all over 2. Now, is there anything in here which I can remove on the outside? So this is knowledge of surds. Any square numbers in here? Can't think of anything. 21 is 3 times 7, they're primes, so no. So that is it, job done. It is in that form. Yeah, much easier. So one for you to have a go at. So hit pause and then start solving it. Okay, so there we go. So I picked off my A, B, and C. I quoted the formula. I substituted my values in. I played around with it. And I've got it down to that. Are there any square numbers in 57? I can't think of any. So it would be answer. Which one is it? A. So it will be A. So well done if you got A. Okay, another question for you to do, a bit trickier. So hit pause, have a think, have a play, and then if you're not sure, come back and I'll go through the question. So the question was talking about area, and these are just rectangles. So to find the area of a rectangle, one side times the other. So x times 2x, 2x squared, x times 4, 4x, 3 times 2x, 6x, and we want the total area, so add them all up, which gave me this, and you were told that the area was 82. So it would be option A. And there's some wordy sort of problems, so obviously more challenging, but still just using the quadratic formula. So have a go at some of those. Again, hit pause and then come back to check your answers really, or if you got stuck, and I'll go through just a few of these. So I have read the question and I've drawn a diagram. And so this was a bit weird. So the hypotenuse is 3 meters longer, not than the shortest side, but twice the shortest side. So shortest side is x, so it's 3 meters longer than twice of this. And then you were told that the other side, not the hypotenuse, is 4. So I've got that now. So now I'm just going to use a bit of Pythagoras, and I'm going to end up with this. So again, hit pause if you can do that. Okay, so I've gone through and I've got my Pythagoras bit. So 4 squared plus x squared must equal this bit squared. So that's 4 squared. Expanded by brackets. Remember, this is bracket times bracket. So 2x plus 3, lots of 2x plus 3. Don't just square this and square this. Got to remember there's a middle bit. And then set it equal to 0. So take an x squared from both sides. Take away 16. Pick off your a, b, and c. Chuck it in a formula and play around with it. Now notice you only get one solution this time because it's an actual shape, and if I use the other one I'd have a negative length, and obviously I can't have a negative length. Now on the next slide I'll put the answers just from the textbook for these, so feel free to have a go at more of these questions, and then also there's going to be the test coming which I will make available to you. Other than that, that's it. I hope that helped. Get in touch if it didn't. And there are the answers.